Good morning, Miss Deb Weyland, and how are you?
I'm great, Sue. How are you this morning?
Good. We're here to talk about diet demons because so many people have written to us and said, I just can't manage this. My eating is out of control. Can you help us? Help us. So, Deb and I are here this morning to try to help you because we've had a lot of personal experience with diet demons
Oh,
and
yes.
sugar demons
Yes.
and how clever they are and how they make you feel bad.
Mm-hmm.
So we want to start this morning by telling you no one's coming to rescue you from yourself, right?
Right. Your inner demons and our lack of confidence and your dissatisfaction with yourself and your life, that all plays a role in how well we conquer the diet ones.
Right. And only self love and good decisions will rescue you. And I need you to think of it as like 10 minutes at a time. And we recommend fennel. We love fennel to start each day. Fennel gets rid of parasites. And I don't know about everybody on this call, but I've often thought of the addiction of sugar and diet issues is a form of possession. So there has to be demons involved, and you could also call them parasites.
Right.
Oh, tell them about the sugar addiction circle.
I know. And this is something we all go through, even people that are not, trying to lose weight. If you eat sugar, you like it, you crave it, it definitely has addictive properties. What it does is it makes your blood sugar level spike. It releases dopamine in the brain, which makes us go, ah. And addiction is mass insulin is secreted, and your blood sugar levels start to drop. So when they drop, what happens? Your high insulin levels cause immediate fat storage. That's the part we don't want. The body craves the lost sugar high because we like being on that sugar high.
You sure
And then,
do.
yep. And then what happens all over at the end?
We get more hunger and cravings, and when you start dreaming about where's the carrot cake? Where's the ice cream? Are you sure
Right.
there's no ice cream left in the cupboard?
Mm-hmm. And
You know,
as teachers, we live this because we grew up with that after school snack. So
mhm.
as teachers, we kind of continued that. So you'd go home from school, have an afternoon snack, not necessarily healthy because you're tired and you had the sugar. And then this went on for the rest of the night. Not a good place to be.
Right. And you will find that coriander can be helpful, grapefruit can be helpful.
Mm-hmm.
Lemon sassy, when you use it consistently, can be very helpful to curb the cravings. So you reward yourself for recognizing bad thinking about where's the carrot cake by giving yourself another shot of Slim and Sassy. Because when you hear about where's the carrot cake, that's the demon talking. That's not you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And for years, Debbie told me stories about when people use the word diet. Why do they have some resistance, Miss Deb?
Yeah, well, it diet implies that you're going to be without. Um, it means that it's temporary. You start to resent others that can eat you under the table 10 times over and they don't gain an ounce. Um, I have friends that they tell me that they've developed an allergy to certain foods as a way to try to avoid them. Um,
I
and
do
I
love
think
the
the
story
best,
of suddenly allergic to chocolate. I love that story.
yeah. And and I think for a lot of us that when you are struggling to lose weight or to eat healthier, which is a better way to change your lifestyle, when people don't recognize your efforts, it also sets you in a pattern of, well, that's it. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go eat again. So it's really, we beat ourselves up because our expectations are sometimes really difficult to achieve. So,
Right. And we also don't say things like, I'm on a diet. You
right.
can't say it to yourself Good morning, Joy. Joy is dialed in from Utah. God bless you. It's early there too in the morning. Yes, we had some technical difficulties yesterday, and things are much better today. But what Debbie told me a long time ago is we have to help people accept that their lifestyle is unique from other people.
Right.
So, yes, I have a tall, thin friend whose metabolic rate must be wonderful, who can eat 2 slices of chocolate cake after, having noodles and potatoes and all kinds of stuff at a meal. And I always marvel he doesn't fall over. But his body is just different. So when we recognize thoughts that are not healthy for us, like, man, I really resent not being able to order a second slice of carrot cake. When you recognize the thoughts, you've got to apply your essential oils right away. You have to correct your behavior with you by restating your intentions and restate self-praise, like, I was so good, I only had 1 bite of the carrot cake, and quite honestly, more than 1 bite is just not worth it to my hips. You have the power. You have the power to determine a good lifestyle for you, which will be different from everyone else. And it's the demon inside that doesn't want you to recognize when you're thinking stinking thinking thoughts are not going to help you. So that's why we refer to demons. It's old habits and patterns that say things like, oh, I'll ride my bike tomorrow. I'll walk on my walking machine tomorrow. Get up, get it done. My friend Bill Murray.
Love him. He tells us that social media is training us to compare our lives instead of appreciating everything we are. And he says, no wonder why everyone is always depressed. And it's true.
Sure.
From an early age, and I was telling Sue that even my young students in kindergarten had already learned to compare themselves with each other, and they would start making negative statements about their hair, their body, their clothes. And it was so shocking to me that our society has created this in such young children.
Right. And a lot of times the little kids didn't even understand what the phrases were.
Right.
Picked up on the tone and frequency of self-criticism. And when you expose children to your bad thinking, your self-criticism, your non-moving forward, because that's also part of what you're doing, is that becomes normal for them. It's how many of us picked up negative traits because we were surrounded with that vibration that was normal. Right. So something's normal, it takes work to make a new normal. I love this one.
If I get fat, I eat too much. If I lose weight, I'm sick. If I dress well, I show off. And if I dress simply, I am poor. If I cry, I am pitied. If I speak my mind, I am arrogant. And that's really so true.
Right. No matter what you do, someone is always going to criticize you. So you might as well just be yourself. And I know that takes work, and I know it takes acceptance, especially if you came from an environment in which being a size 2 was rewarded and being anything larger than a size 2 was criticized, punished, reprimanded, whether there was a tone of, you can't do this, what's wrong with you, you have no control, you have no discipline, your husband's not going to love you, you've let yourself go. I mean, our family had lots of interesting negative characteristics, and they were all generational.
Yes.
So undoing those characteristics of self-criticism is normal. Berating, evaluating others, thinking we actually had the right to look at another human being and judge them without ever walking in their shoes. That was something we were bred to do without any clue
Mm-hmm.
how harmful it could be.
Right.
And it's not just, family. Many times it's a work environment, groups you hang out with, whether it's a book club, a makeup club, a do-it-yourself group, whatever. Many church groups. You're invited to celebrations, whether it's weddings. Oh my gosh, the stories I hear from people about the anxiety of, I can't go to my class reunion because I'm 20 pounds heavier than I was 40 years ago. And I go, do you really care what people you haven't seen for 40 years are going to think of you? You have got to be kidding me. They don't pay your bills. They don't make you laugh. Why would you give them the authority to make you feel bad about choices?
Because we're looking for that acceptance from others that we've strived for, from, like you said, our families instilled that need for acceptance of others and recognition from others instead of ourselves.
Well, and we found that frankincense and green mandarin rubbed on the center of your forehead, the bones behind your ears, right around your core, and clearly stating, I am free to be me. I am free to enjoy who I am at this moment and later on too. Because when we back off from self criticism and criticizing others, it's amazing how acceptance is perfectly present.
Mm-hmm.
Here's a helper. We have a
Yay!
big helper for reprogramming. I'm just so excited about Magnolia.
It's wonderful. Um, Magnolia's aroma is really complex, and it's reminiscent of sweet things like sparkling champagne, a bouquet of flowers, freshly picked fruit. Heaven in a bottle is what they say.
Yes, therapeutically, Magnolia is said to increase circulation, act as a sedative, benefit the skin, and relax both the mind and the body. We use this. We're using this on kids that are having trouble sleeping with weather changes and fluctuations, and the holidays are coming. They're overstimulated. They, have unrealistic expectations because, again, those things have been communicated by the vibration around them. And it really calms you down. It calms the kids down.
Mm-hmm.
It has 30% more linalool than lavender. And that's what makes it so calming. And it's also extraordinary as an what are those little seeds of things we don't like in our body? Let me think. Antioxidant. The
There we
seed
go.
cancer. Little seeds of cancer doesn't like linalool at all. Now,
Mm-hmm.
recognize what this is?
I do.
This is an ice, for those of you who've never indulged, this is an ice container, okay? And it's not one of the ones that's sugar free, I can tell, okay? So do you think this means I'm emotional eating? And no, I did not eat the whole carton. I am just starting. So, for all of those who love ice cream when they feel like they have to swallow things they've been thinking about rather than actually own how they feel about things. Again,
Mm-hmm.
you need to recognize, and if you want to bite ice cream, just have a bite and put it back. Because you see, you recognize you need to be comforted. You recognize something is not feeling loving right now. Apply an essential oil, restate your self love. These are simple techniques that only you can do. I
Mm-hmm.
can't do it for you. I can't call you up and say, I love you, get your face out of that ice cream.
No, and Sue just hit on like the most important words here. We need to learn to love ourselves, and that's sometimes the hardest when we're in this vicious cycle because we replay all the negative things and not the positive things. So, learning to recognize that. Someone once said to me, like before I went to go grab that container of ice cream, stop and say, "Do I really need it?" And wait. wait, just a couple minutes before you go to grab it and see if after those few minutes and like having a glass of water or putting on your oils, see if that need is still there. And that really has been very helpful.
Okay, here's the diet cycle. And again, diet contains the word DIE.
Mm-hmm.
So if you have to die to something, then you are restricting, you are limiting. And
Right.
people in the United States, when somebody gives us a restriction, they give us a limitation. What do? We try to
Just
figure out,
rebel sometimes.
right, how are we going to do this different?
Right. Well, every time you start this diet plan, you really get excited. You're all revved up. I'm going to do this. This is great. And, people see the diet as restricting or that they're in denial of what they're able to have. So, but you see some results.
Yes.
And then what happens?
Well, when you give it and you cheat, then you start feeling really bad.
Right.
You gave yourself a word of, I'm going to be on this diet and I'm going to feel a difference. And then when you go and you eat something that's not good for you,
Mm-hmm.
okay,
Right. Yeah. And what happens is you create this vicious cycle. And there was a poem, and I have tried to find it so many times and I can't, but it was like, you know, always start the diet on Monday, never on Sunday, goof up by Tuesday, and then you ruin the rest of the week. And that's another pattern that we have to stop. If we've made a mistake and we've chosen something that's not good for us in our lifestyle change, just keep going. Don't give up and plan to start a week later. And that's something that we really have to work hard at.
and yarrow pomegranate, da 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 da. It's in the new format bottle. It's very exciting.
Yes.
One of the big secrets that's kind of been splashed all over the place is that it positively affects hormone balance. When you positively affect hormone balance, not only are you going to improve circulation and digestion, but your metabolic function, meaning how you process carbs, how you process stinking thinking, is going to change. And people
Mm-hmm.
immediately, within 60 days of the convention and the release of this in the kits, the convention kits were reporting, hey, you know what? I was doing this every day and I lost weight and I really wasn't focused on that. I just felt better all over.
Mm-hmm.
And it's because using the oils made a big difference. When we think about having ice cream, one of the things that can help you, or whatever you might like, some people like Clark bars, some people like Three Musketeers, some people like a whole loaf of bread and butter. Whatever triggers your diet demon, you need to think about it. So when you look at a list like this, um, I want you to reflect and do journaling. We're going to cover journaling between Christmas and New Year's. There's this new thing called bullet journaling. So it won't be hard, it won't be difficult. And I'm hoping to help you sort right between the holidays when things can be challenging. What triggers you so that when you are ready to hear or interpret other people's actions, again, you can make a different decision.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you say, I felt disrespected, I felt a lack of affection, these things communicate you had an expectation and you were disappointed. And what do we say about expectations? That if you have an expectation, especially if it's unexpressed, you're going to be disappointed because human beings cannot read your mind. Human beings cannot always be in tune with meeting your needs. Only you can meet your needs, but you have to recognize when it's important to you. So if you're judging yourself, you're going to hear judgment from others. If you feel forgotten, then you let yourself be forgotten. If something appears to be unfair, then you have to have the courage to express. And that's part of what journaling is about, is to help you speak up within yourself. Because
Hmm.
saying it out loud sometimes really doesn't matter. And sometimes the people who taught us to swallow what we think aren't even alive anymore. It's just learned behavior. So we
Hmm.
help you unlearn that. But figuring out what triggered you. Why did you want this ice cream? We're just using it as an example.
Right. No, I like that idea of the list. That's a great idea. Figuring it out.
Yeah. And then,
Yay.
okay, this is on special. So be sure when you're ordering your next order of 200 to get another free frankincense, you get the Terrazyme, which is on special. You might as well get a deal, right?
Oh my gosh. I won't be without this. I just love this.
I do too. And anybody who's recovering from long-term medication, long-term chemo, this is your gift to your entire organ system. You really want to use the Terrazyme before every meal. Just keep using it and keep using it because it explains all the reasons why here. It helps you break down things that your body may be too tired to break down. Or if you're missing your gallbladder, you may be missing a digestive process. It,
Hmm.
this is an amazing gift. And many people, when they want to change habits mentally, have found great success with citrus bliss. I spelled it wrong. Sorry. Lose points for bad spelling. Alex, get back. Oh, no.
Hey, it's phonetically correct. Don't worry about it.
Right. In another language, it might be correct.
That's right.
Citrus bliss in their water. Okay. Really
Hmm.
helps them focus on virtues. But that's a choice. If you're going to drink your water and you're going to say, God, I have to have this water because I can't have soda, you repeatedly are causing yourself pain. Knock it off. Accept the fact that soda is not in your best interest.
Hmm.
Let it go. We don't
Right.
care if people want to destroy brain cells and their liver. You want to be healthy.
Right. And we know how important water is for us. And actually, if you drink it when you're having those cravings, it helps subside them. It's going to give us more energy and we're not going to be thinking, maybe not thinking about, food as much. So it's definitely, helpful in making all our cells and our oxygen travel throughout our body. So if we think of it in that way, we may not see it as a punishment.
Right. And for those who missed earlier, there's a handout and you can download it. There's a little gray box on your screen. Go right to where it says handouts and you can download it. But Debbie figured out real quick that you got to make the little squares smaller because I made them too big. Sorry.
Yeah, just reduce your percentage when you print it. I love this oil, pink pepper.
Yes. No, Susan, I was not talking about Slim and Sassy in the water. You can certainly do Slim and Sassy in your water if you would like to. But Citrus Bliss is what people really find very helpful for reprogramming. And that's the part we were talking about when you recognize you have thoughts that need to change. Like, I am thrilled about the 3 apples a day I am eating. I am less depressed. I feel more satisfied when I have edamame instead of another slice of bread. We have to talk to ourselves about the lifestyle that is good for us.
Hmm.
Because we're going to be around to 132. We'll still be chasing our lovers around the backyard. And remember why you have to do the work now. Okay.
Hmm.
Sometimes I get going on these webinars and I forget, okay, you guys could be new. All right. So if you're new, let's talk about pink pepper.
I really love pink pepper. And just the name, it does associate it. It helps us with our feelings of our heart. It helps us make clear decisions of the heart, such as whether a relationship is right for you or not.
And that's
It,
really important because a lot of people say, how can I avoid heartbreak? Because you tell me to trust again, to love again. Yeah, you can insulate yourself and not feel if you want to, but, enjoy that ice cream. But what I'm trying to say is if you want to have a relationship and you want to be healthy, then it's really important that you can use oils to help yourself accept your goodness and your excitement about life and your zest for life. And pink pepper, because of it promoting discernment, because of it allowing your inner wisdom to rule your funny mind. I call my mind a funny mind too. I don't want you to think I'm picking on you guys, okay? How we look at things that can be very funny. The saving you the broken heart has to do with your trusting your discernment. Because when you get those little alarm bells, when the people you're with, something weird happens and you go like, wait a minute, that's not who I thought they were. And then we talk ourselves into believing, oh, well, they're good most of the time. I'll just ignore that part. If you've got alarm bells going off, you really should pay attention, guys. Please.
yeah, it's true.
Don't keep telling yourself it's going to be okay when the alarm bells are saying it's not okay. Pink pepper will help you with that. Oh, good. This is one of my favorites. Overthinking. Oh, yes.
What? People overthink?
Yes, it's an
Yeah,
epidemic.
a lot. Remember that you cannot suffer the past or future because they do not exist. What you are suffering is your memory and your imagination. Okay?
It's
We
really
don't.
important. You set your goals
Mm-hmm.
and you focus on the fact you already have the virtues you need to achieve the goals. You apply oils. I have the virtues. I have everything I need. I am enough. I'm going to stop looking outside myself for confirmation because nobody is inside of you to know what's important to you.
Mm-hmm.
Because you can mimic, like Bill Murray said, comparisons, but maybe you didn't really want a red car to begin with. I mean, sometimes when I help people sort out what they want to be happy, they're amazed at how much they picked up on what other people had or didn't have
Right.
that they put in their accumulation. I call it karaoke. Let's say it out loud and see how important it is. It's
Mm-hmm.
like karaoke for your soul. Do you
And I
really
think,
want the
Susan,
car?
what?
Do you really want the red car?
No, or do you want the red car because those people seem happy and maybe that would make you happy? I think sometimes that's where your thought processes get a little twisted. It's like maybe if I do exactly what they're doing, I'm going to be happy like them.
I think that could be part of it, but
Yeah.
projecting. You're
Mm-hmm.
looking at somebody else and saying, wow, look how happy they are. And it's all hoo hoo.
Mm-hmm.
Healing doesn't mean the damage never existed, it means the damage no longer controls our lives. I use this slide again and again because I want people to remember sitting around and trading old wounds does not help you move forward. Revisiting the old disappointments, revisiting those moments of, oh my God, my boss came in and just told me I didn't have a job anymore and there was no warning. I was so hurt. I was so upset. Every time you play that back and you revisit those bad feelings, you are holding yourself in the past.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever other actions you may have taken at that time, you're going to repeat that may not be in your best interest. It's not that the damage, you know, wasn't done or you weren't surprised, but you don't have to let it control you. You don't have to talk about it anymore. God bless Deb. You've got that one friend that she talks about things that happened 30 years ago like it was yesterday.
Yeah.
Really
Mm-hmm.
hard to be with. She recycles old pain. That is her way of being with other people, and she's very difficult to be with.
And it is taking a very negative it's a negative impact on her overall health and well-being. It really has. And so for me, she's like the perfect example of, unfortunately, what not to do, because if you live in the past, you're not happy in living in today and looking forward to a future.
No, not at all. So please, when you walk during the holidays and people start saying, "Oh, you remember that time Charlie was in the accident and he wouldn't let us come to hospital?" Or remember when, the kids next door got a pool, we couldn't be in it? Don't play those back. Play forward about what you're looking forward to. The
Mm-hmm.
rent a different cottage this year, and it's going to have more room for more of the little cousins and the grandkids. And you're excited about what activities you're going to share with the grandkids or the neighborhood kids. I mean, I love having kids come over to my house because they get to make a mess and it's fine. And
Mm-hmm.
I'm creating together. I mean, sometimes it's big kids that come over, isn't it, Deb?
Yes, we have a large collection of big kids that like to play.
Yeah, I still remember Mary Beth was a baby, her first Easter. We had her propped up with blankets in her high chair. So there were 14 different adults coloring Easter eggs. And she was far too little to understand what was going on, but she was the reason. I'd say, "Come on over. Mary Beth wants us to color Easter eggs." And we all laughed and laughed. But, it's a tradition you keep up.
Absolutely.
Okay, this is part of your handout. Da, 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 da.
Yes.
People have published their different combinations of using essential oils consistently to feel better. Because isn't it true, Miss Deb, that if you sleep well, you drink your water, you walk a few more minutes every day, you feel better all over. You're less likely to get involved with serious triggers and listening to the demon.
Oh, absolutely. It's the perfect way to keep the demon at bay. Absolutely.
Yes.
And I really like this idea. I'm going to try it myself. I knew the benefits of the new oils that people were using every day, but the idea of the Mito 2 Max also could be very helpful.
Yeah, it's got the ashwagandha in it, which is really
Mm-hmm.
very helpful for metabolic balance. It's really very helpful for cortisol, serotonin balance. And a lot of people forget that it has such an extraordinary benefit. Several of my friends who had been diagnosed with forms of arthritis, we discovered last year that when they combined 2 Mito 2 Max with the polyphenols, the deep blue capsules,
Mm-hmm.
had extraordinary relief and they were thrilled. So
Okay.
you've got to play with the oils, you've got to play with your intentions
Mm-hmm.
and honor yourself consistently. And like I said, if you're sitting there and they bring you wedding cake and they bring you cannoli and they bring you chocolate trays, if you've got to have just one bite, have one bite and thoroughly enjoy it. Consider it a reward for not eating the entire platter.
Mm-hmm.
I know that sounds funny, but the
No.
friction causes like this what do you call the rubber band? You pull the rubber band so
Yes.
tight and it's going to snap back, and many times that's a reflex of binge eating. And then you don't like you then you go on binge criticism and binge being mean to yourself, okay?
I, when you deny yourself like that dessert at the wedding and you won't have it and you push it aside, like, and you're showing the world that you're being good. I remember after a wedding such as that, we stopped at a diner. It was early morning, and for coffee, and the person that denied themselves all the sweets at the wedding now like had this huge slice of cheesecake, because by not having that little taste, it just put off satisfying that need for something like that. And she said, I denied, and that was the word she used. She said, I denied myself at the wedding, but now I'm having it.
Right.
So in the long run, you only hurt yourself.
Right. And out here in New Jersey, they do weddings in a truly debauchery manner.
Yes.
Midwest, where we get big families together and we celebrate. But we've never seen anything like what we experience here. It's like this major competition, and the parents go broke to have, a wedding. And it starts at 4 o'clock with, what do you call those things? Appetizers. But there's
Appetizers.
like 40 tables of different kind of appetizers
Yep.
and different kind of drinks. And the first one we went to, my husband and I, honest to God, we thought this was the food. We didn't know. They then opened these big doors, and you go to a table, and there's a 9-course meal. And then after the meal, they have staggered desserts, don't they, Deb?
Oh, yes. Ice cream bars and your wedding cake and um, the different coffee mixtures that you can make and popcorn machines now for the kids, and it's very elaborate.
Right. And the dark chocolate fountains and the milk
Oh
chocolate.
yeah, the chocolate fountains.
Oh, yeah. And it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even believe this because nobody can eat all that food.
Mm-mm.
So much goes to waste. Anyway, when you talk about denying, that's what that lady was denying. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So I learned a long time ago, I just say, congratulations. We're happy we got to see you get married because we go to church to see the weddings, and we will show up for cocktails. And then we say, we're on call first thing in the morning. We got to go now. Bye bye. Yeah, too much.
It is.
Can I mix yarrow palm and turmeric? Yes, please do that. Turmeric ignites your organ systems for major repair. Mixing it with the yarrow palm, you get repair times 10. It's amazing what happens. And I can't talk about this without talking about copaiba. Copaiba that doTERRA has put together from 4 different plant sources, puts it together on purpose to not only clean up the message sending system, which is your CB1, but also the part that does rehabilitation. It doesn't just soothe pain, it re-educates the nervous system to operate efficiently. So now that you have less pain, it will report it less.
Mm-hmm.
And it also reduces inflammation big time.
Yay.
And forgiveness is a big part of moving from diet and restriction to lifestyle changes that are healthy.
Right. Yeah, forgive yourself every single time that you forgot your own worth. And we have to recognize all the good qualities and virtues that we have within ourselves.
Right. And many of us are being hindered from our destiny because we're being held hostage by a leash around our souls called unforgiveness. We won't forgive ourselves for things we couldn't even know about. We won't forgive others for things that they didn't even know offended us. Very sensitive, intelligent people like yourselves often give others in your life credit for the same values you have,
Mm-hmm.
credit for the same wisdom and sensitivity you have. And that's why you get appalled at how they treat you or they mistreat you. But the fact of the matter is, you need to recognize if they had your sensitivity, if they had your values, they would never treat you like that.
Mm-hmm. So true.
So you have to forgive yourself for projecting that other people are capable of your values. A self hug is so important. Here's an example: 1 drop of turmeric, 3 yarrow palm, 2 lang lang in the palm of your right hand. Rub it on your left shoulder. And then you express your positive intentions. I'm going to this happy gathering and celebration. I'm going to thoroughly enjoy everything at the happy gathering and celebration because I've improved my forward movement. I walk more and more every day, so I can thoroughly enjoy. And whenever you apply oils, especially something like this, you're addressing your heart, mind, body, and soul. So say good things to yourself. I can see clearly now what's good for me. I am open to new feelings that are good. Because sometimes we want to keep our same feelings, but have different habits. And again, you must be open to feeling new things and looking at things in a new way. Don't forget your PB Assist. Don't forget your DDR Prime. Now comes in the 15 ml bottle. Remember the diet cycle.
Yep.
Okay, reduce calories, add exercise, be determined. 10 to 14 days nutrient deficiency.
Right.
That's when temptations will resurface. You'll have lots of frustrations. You'll give in. But remember, just have a bite. And then what happens, Deb?
Yeah, because then when you ruin your diet plan or whatever, you start to experience guilt. You start calling yourself a failure. There's a lot of hopelessness. Then you give up, and then the weight comes right back on.
Right. And the other part is if you make a mistake at a luncheon, you have a bite of bread, you have a bite of something that is not normally with you, then you go back. That's fine. Just have the bite, enjoy it, move on. Don't spend time in beating up on yourself. It's not fair.
Right.
Fighting the urge to binge starts with fighting the urge to restrict.
Right. Right. We don't want to see the diet as a restriction because it does cause those binges. And you just want to, again, as you said, it's a healthy lifestyle change. And if you can keep that in mind, it really helps you eliminate the binge eating and then you like feel like you have to make up for the binge eating and you're restricting and it's just a very vicious cycle.
Right. And if you're losing weight for other people or you're losing weight for a special occasion, then you're not losing weight for the right reasons. And you're really going to resent it if nobody notices. You have
Mm-hmm.
this because it's important to you, not because anybody else is even going to notice.
Right.
Okay,
Again,
here's some binge and overeating.
yep. You feel guilty, you have remorse, you have your fear of your weight gain again when you binge. And then you want to get it in control by dieting or restricting. And then when you diet and restrict,
You're
you
not
start
feeling
to feel
good about it.
better, right?
You're not resting well. You're beating up on yourself. You're affecting your cortisol and serotonin balance in a very negative way. Again, the supplements are so helpful at you reprogramming just what you were taught, just the environment that felt normal to you.
Mm-hmm.
And setbacks will only make you stronger. If you never have a slip, if you never make, you know, order your normal loaf of bread, whatever it is, you're not going to understand the value of your own choice. So slips are going to happen, but do not blow the whole day. Debbie would tell me these great stories of the women going on and on about how, oh, well, I slipped up at lunch, so I just ate the rest of the day. What?
That happens a lot.
Okay, we're going to cover this in detail between the holidays about closed mindset and open mindset.
Mm-hmm.
Because in an open mindset, you're participating in perfect present moment. And you are open to taking new information that you previously were not exposed to and decide for yourself what's important about it. And rather than ignoring new situations or new information, you're able to process it. And like I said, we're going to go into more detail next week. Now, we're going to talk in that same period of time, we're going to talk about mental health because isn't that what this whole thing is about?
Of course. Having good mental health, feeling good, having happy feelings, and loving yourself.
Right. There are a lot of people fighting depression. There are a lot of people who have sadness, overwhelming, deep, dark thoughts. And it's important that you be open and patient. It's important if you recognize someone's in a dark place that, except for the grace of God, there you go. Okay? The National Institute of Mental Health that could help you spot people silently suffering from depression and mental health issues. Irritability. And you just thought they were crabby, right? Yes. Anger management issues. Loss of interest in favorite activities or hobbies. Fixation on the past
Right.
or things that have gone wrong. Thought of death or suicide. Insomnia or too much sleep. Defibrillate too much sleep. I'd love that. Okay.
I know.
Debilitating fatigue. Increased or decreased appetite. Weight gain or weight loss. Difficulty in concentration. Unexpected aches and pains. So we're going to cover all this. It'll be called part 2 between the holidays on mental health and killing that demon. We'd like to thank you for joining us. Thank you, Miss Deb.
Thank you, Sue. And I'm really grateful for doing this for the holidays because so many of us do suffer from, these emotional letdowns. And so this is really a perfect reminder of how to stay well and happy. So
No,
thank you.
not only that, but this is the warm up because we're going to take you on that 3-week give up the white sugar and the white flour thing, and that'll be in January
Yes,
because
our new year.
I really believe that if you do give up white sugar and white flour seriously for 3 weeks every quarter, you extend your life by years because you're letting all of your organ systems rest, you're letting your brain rest, and
Mm-hmm.
so many of the people we've been doing this with have never gone back to sugar. They are so happy.
Mm-hmm. Again,
Yes,
thank you
record.
again.
Yes, this is recorded, and the replay will be available. Yes, it will. Any
Bye,
other?
Just want to say bye, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yes, thank you, thank you. You guys are amazing. Everybody have blessed holidays, and we'll write soon. We'll post part 2, and we will post this recording. We just get our nice friend Paul Helms to do all the cool stuff he does with these recordings. Thank you. And if you're looking for our old webinars, where do we have them hidden, Deb?
They are on Personal Peaceful Growth Calendar on our Facebook pages as well. And you just have to look up Marie Dora.
Yes, look for Marie Dora on YouTube and you will be surprised.
There's
Thank you.
many. There are many there.
Yes, thank you, thank you. Bye
Okay,
now.
bye everyone.